episode 3 of the Indy Ball Insider podcast. I'm here with our first player interview, Zac Westcott, and I would put like a team that you're with, but you've been with enough at this point that I think we might fill up the screen.
Yeah, we keep adding to
Yeah, right.
it.
So just last year, though, obviously you played for Joliet, Florence, and then finished the year in the Atlantic League with Gastonia. Um, I'm imagining a bit of a whirlwind. We'll get to that at some point in the interview. But first, I want to just start with kind of like a general background in your career. Just kind of tell us a little bit how you got into baseball and what really kind of pushed you into the professional world post college.
Yeah, I grew up in South Florida, born and raised. My dad played baseball when he was a kid. I have an older brother who's like 6 years older than me, who I like envied and wanted to be
Yeah,
growing up, and he played baseball. So, it was just like I don't want to say it wasn't even like an option to not, but
right.
it was just like something I was always going to do. And I wasn't really good at it until I don't know, junior year of high school. Um, I was okay, but
Yeah,
I hit a late growth spurt and put on some size, and it helped me down the road in terms of like learning how to pitch and stuff like
sure.
that. But went to Cypress Bay High School in Weston, Florida. Really big school. We were pretty good at baseball. Um, and then from there, went to Nova Southeastern University. It's Division
Okay.
two in Davie. So
Yeah.
again, just like kind of in my backyard. Didn't have too many offers. Had no real Division one traction. At the end of the day, I kind of knew what it was. I was an undersized righty.
Sure.
I wasn't lighting up the radar gun. It was a little different back then. I'm old now. I'm one of the older guys, but there weren't too many guys throwing like mid 90s in
Yeah.
high school when in 2010.
Right.
Now it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I still even like kind of knew what it was. So I ended up signing to Nova Southeastern. I think it was probably the best thing that could have happened for me. I was not mature enough. Um, Definitely to go to one of these big D1s. I feel like I would have been chewed up and spit out at 18 years
Yeah.
old. And it's crazy when I look at some of these guys who get drafted out of high school, who are just thrown into the professional setting of things at 18.
Yeah.
And some of these Latin guys and guys from foreign countries who are coming in at like 16, 17. And it's
Hmm.
like, the mental makeup you got to have at that
Yeah.
young age to just be able to even go through that stuff like is
Crazy.
crazy. So I feel like it's wild how things work out, but I feel like I ended up where I needed to be. um Played there for 5 years, 4 years, and then again kind of was like a realist with the whole situation. I'm still an undersized righty, so it's not like that ever changed. I was a fifth year in college, so I had that working against me. I was at a Division two. I had that working against me. So I knew I wasn't going to get drafted.
Hmm.
I thought there was maybe potential for a free agency signing because I had a good college career. I had extremely good numbers my last year,
Hmm.
and so nothing really came of that. So I thought I was kind of done. I had probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks to where I was just trying to like deal with the fact that okay, I guess I
Yeah.
got to go into the real world. And a guy had contacted me from Lincoln, the Salt
Sure.
Dogs, and I didn't know. Again, this is a different time. This is 2015.
Yeah.
The Indy Ball landscape was completely different. I didn't know a single person up to this point in my life that had played independent baseball.
Hmm.
So I was under the expectation that it was like almost like glorified men's league,
Sure.
to where I was gonna roll up to some parks and it'd be like a local park with eight
Yeah.
different fields, and we're just on that chain link fence
Yep.
field over there that's just like caddy corner to 14 and under running some practice,
Yeah.
and again, I'm from South Florida, and I got some guy from Lincoln, Nebraska calling
Right.
me, telling me like he really wants me out there, and I'm just like, it's not what I'm envisioning, you know.
Yeah,
So he's like, hey, pump the brakes, like throw it on Google, look up our field, look up our stadium, all this stuff. We share a field with University of Nebraska. Blah blah blah. He starts telling me about the city, and I was like, oh, okay. So I got out there and was really like honestly starstruck. And even then, I was like, okay, the facilities are nice,
sure.
um, but I don't think that the playing aspect of it is going to be professional baseball, you
Right.
know. And again, I was American Association straight out of college. Like I was in over my head and didn't
Yeah,
even know
yeah,
it, you know.
yeah.
And it kind of helped me because I didn't know I was in over my head, so I was just out there pitching. So I mean,
Right.
I had very good numbers. In my first year with Lincoln, I was relieving. They changed management in between those years. The first year in 15 and 16, and they brought back like 4 guys, and I was like one of them.
Mhm.
Again, like rookies who can perform are like a hot commodity in
Right.
there because they only require like 4 or 5 at least at the time.
Yeah.
So I got brought back there. I pitched well again out of the pen. Ended up getting traded to St. Paul, but it was just very eye opening because again, it was this niche market of baseball that I
Yeah.
had no idea even existed, and to call it like a niche market is even so like you've been around it now, like you especially at the Dog Stadium, like
Yeah.
you're walking into that park every single day, and it's like you can't tell me this isn't like like this is the most one of the most professional things you can imagine,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yeah.
Especially over there in Rosemont, that place is gorgeous,
Yeah, it's
you
awesome.
know. So again, it was just something that came out of nowhere. Um, was not on my radar at all. Kind of figured I'd go give it a try for a couple months and just prolong getting a job. Um, and then it's 11 years
Yeah.
later I'm on the podcast with you. It's kind of crazy, but no, it's fun. It's fun.
That's awesome. I think, you could probably ask however many people you wanted about how they got into Indy Ball, and I bet you 99% of them are going to tell you some variation of the story of didn't expect to be here, but got here
Yeah,
somehow, and here I
yeah,
still am, Like
yeah, yeah.
that's
And they
how Indy
go.
Ball rolls.
It's crazy. You see these stages. You see these stages. One of our managers, Mike Peno, talks about this all the time. It's like
Mm,
stages of guys coming into Indy Ball, and it's like they come in and they're like, and again, I went through all these same stages.
yeah,
You come in and you're like, you don't realize you're in over your head because you come in and are expecting it to be this like poor quality
yeah,
baseball. And a lot of guys get that wake up call very quick.
mm,
Um, and then from there they can go down a whole bunch of rabbit holes. But it's that initial wake up call we all get, and it's like, oh, all these guys are good enough to be in affiliate baseball.
yeah,
There's just not enough jobs in affiliate baseball, and um, there's less and less. You know what I'm saying? Like after
right,
COVID, they
yeah,
cut a bunch.
yep,
It's a bunch of the landscape changed drastically after COVID,
hmm,
for the better in terms of independent baseball.
yeah,
So it's been cool to for the last decade watch it completely change,
yeah,
and like rules and
sure,
leagues disbanding and
hmm,
converging, and it's been really exciting from that side of it. I enjoy the
yeah,
off season just as much as the in
sure.
season, to see the whole like business workings of it.
Yeah, totally. Well, because, all these guys are on 1 year deals, so who knows who's going to end up where and,
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
moving around, teams showing up, teams leaving, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
100%.
Um, I- I'm kind of curious from someone who's played in a bunch of different leagues, have you felt like there's a talent disparity between the leagues, or are you just kind of focused on, it doesn't matter who I'm pitching to, like I'm going to go out there and do my thing and get outs.
I think ultimately you have to have that mindset.
Yeah,
When you stop having that mindset is when you like run into trouble.
absolutely.
You're playing the game and not the opponent.
Sure.
A lot of it. Especially like when it comes to like the mental side. You're like
Hmm.
you're playing the game. So I try not to think about it like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's discrepancies in I in every league, there's guys throwing 100. In every league,
Sure.
there's guys hitting 450-foot home runs.
Yeah.
In every league, there's a guy who's hitting 30 homers.
Sure.
There's guys in all these leagues. There's no league where there's guys throwing it harder, hitting it further. It all comes down to consistency. It all comes down to like roster limitations.
Yeah. Yeah.
People talk about the Frontier League and refer to it as being like almost like a lesser quality of league in
Mm.
relation to like American Association or Atlantic League at times, especially like when I started playing.
Sure.
Maybe it's probably evened out a lot more like as of late, but
Yeah.
even then, it's like, well, like 12. You have to have 12 rookies on a team as
Yeah.
opposed to like an Atlantic League team might have none.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like obviously there's more experience and there's more experienced approaches to the game, like top to
Sure.
bottom on lineups. But like again, you still have your guys, you still have your Matt Workingtons who are going to
Right.
hit 30 home runs, and like they're very 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 good players. So it's like I think top to bottom talent probably changes a little bit throughout leagues,
Sure.
but it's not like this. It's not enough to like be making these crazy claims. And again, I've seen it from the player's perspective. It's frustrating because I've through in an off season when you're a free agent and you're trying to find a job, it is frustrating as heck to like be speaking with a manager from like say the American Association, and you're coming off of like a career year in the
Yeah.
Frontier League, and they're trying to discount you like it doesn't mean anything, and they're going to
Right.
give you minimum of what you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like, look, I get it, but also like it's not that big a like
Sure.
we're talking apples to oranges here. Like
Yep.
it's not crazy.
Yeah.
It's people make it a bigger deal than it is. You're going to see guys getting picked up out of all these things. You're going to see guys. I think where it really comes into it is where guys get like scouted out of these leagues. I think it
Mm.
just makes it
Yeah.
easier for the affiliate organization to like know where to go looking,
Sure.
because if they have a need at high A or triple A, like
Yeah.
if they got a need at triple A, they're not like, oh, let me go look to the Frontier League at who's doing good.
Right. Right.
They're going to go to the Atlantic League at a guy who has like the experience that they could just plug and play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it changes stuff up in that regard. But there's not no one's there's not like, if you look at the league's all stars, they're
Sure.
all stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could play each other and it'd be a normal game.
Mm. Yeah.
And you see that in especially in the Atlantic League when it comes time to playoffs,
Mm.
and they're stealing guys from all these other leagues
Yeah.
who are not just like fill in pieces. They're
Right.
coming in to be like guys who are going to contribute to their playoff run.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is.
Sure.
I don't think some of those stigmas are like ever going to go away
Totally.
just because of those roster rules.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'll see the leagues even allude to that too. I saw something the other day about the Pioneer League, which has way more restrictions than the rest of these, right? They've got like the age limit, they've got the roster restrictions as well. And they literally just outwardly say, this is a developmental league. Like
Yeah.
we're not going to hide that fact, right? Like
Yeah.
we have an age limit, and at that point, those guys have to find, teams to play for elsewhere. But at the same
100%. And that's how the
time,
Frontier League used to be. Like, I
right,
aged out of the league in 2018. Like,
exactly.
my last year in Windy City, I was not allowed to come back for
Yeah,
age limit. And then I signed with Milwaukee Milkmen the next year, So
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like, I've been through that exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's not like the quality of baseball is worse because of that, but you just might have different scenarios and guys,
100%.
having to move on to different places. And that can
100%.
be a factor in how they play too, right? Change is always difficult for athletes if you're playing with new people and new stadium, all that, it takes a little while to get used to sometimes. So I can totally understand, there might be those stigmas, but at the end of the day, it's
For sure.
baseball, right?
For sure. And ultimately, like, in terms of like the aging out stuff, like I realistically don't even have an issue with that, because again, like,
Sure. Yeah.
it's also very easy to get like comfortable in this setting.
Yep.
And well, I'm 34 years old. When I go out to a season, my intentions are completely different than 80% of the guys coming to the Frontier League who
Sure.
are actively looking to get signed and we're actively, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this to get signed by the Marlins. Like,
Right.
that's not
Right.
why I'm still playing at 34. Like, I
Yeah.
enjoy the clubhouse setting. I enjoy being around the guys, and this is like what I'm passionate about. So
Sure.
if I can keep it going, like I'm gonna do that. But like some of these guys are coming out here to get signed, and it's
Yep.
like it's very easy to get complacent and get comfortable. So like sometimes that change is necessary. You know, sometimes
Yeah.
you do need to get out from your comfort zone and get into a place where you got to like grind it out a little bit and grow
Yeah.
as like a human and a player. You know.
Sure. Totally. That's awesome. Yeah. I've been talking about this with Aaron Shell, and he's the Dogs play-by-play broadcaster. Um, and we agree on this wholeheartedly. One of the best parts about Indy Ball is watching, a guy who is maybe on the older end in the league, who's pitched in pro baseball for a long time, facing a guy fresh out of college, no pro
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
or you've got, like the major leaguer against the
Mm-hmm.
guy who's spent 10
The
years in
rookie.
Indy
Yeah. Yeah.
Ball.
Yeah.
Like it's just you get all these super fun storylines and matchups
Yeah.
that you would not see anywhere else.
Oh, it's crazy, you know,
Yeah.
and it's really crazy. I like in 2021, I found myself like playing for Lexington Legends in the playoffs, and I'm like on the mound pitching, and I give up a hit, and I turn around, and it's like Brandon Phillips is playing second base
Yeah.
for me, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, what, man? Like,
Yeah.
what world am I in right now?
Right.
Like, this is so crazy. This
Yeah.
is so
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah. When I mean, you still got high profile. Like Pablo Sandoval was playing in the
Yeah,
Atlantic League
yeah,
this last
yeah,
year. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah.
Um,
It's wild, but
okay, last thing about the past in your career. Can you, and I don't, you might be able to do this. I'm not entirely sure. Are you able to name in order all the teams that you have played for?
100%,
All
100%.
right, let's hear it.
Um, okay, so Lincoln, Nebraska, or Lincoln Salt Dogs, St. Paul Saints, Windy City Thunderbolts, Southern Maryland Blue
Yeah.
Crabs, almost just missed them there. Milwaukee Milkmen, Ottawa Champions at the time.
Yeah.
2020, which won't be on Baseball Reference, I was a Lexington Leyenda in the
Hmm.
Battle of the Bourbon Trail, which might be my favorite year of playing baseball.
I love it.
Then after that, it was Southern Illinois, Ottawa for 2, Joliet. Well, I'm missing Gastonia in there because I'm
Sure.
Gastonia's in there a couple times,
Right.
but
Yep.
and then Lexington as well. These now we're not in order. We're all over the place here at the
Yeah,
end.
the Atlantic League though is
Yeah,
messed
yeah,
up
yeah,
because
yeah,
you'll
yeah,
go there at the end of the season and then come back.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, Lexington and
And then
Gastonia a couple
Florence
times.
and Joliet. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So I guess do you have like I don't want to make you pick a favorite, but do you have places that you played or teammates or coaches that kind of stand out in your career at all?
100%. I've had the opportunity of playing at a lot of great places. Probably like what I look at as like my big leagues was my time in St. Paul. Like
Sure.
playing against them or playing for them. Obviously, playing for them was crazy.
Mm,
But even going in there and playing, it's just like it's so easy to go to the park, even when you're like playing that. Like you like I did not have good numbers when I was in St. Paul.
sure.
And it was still so easy to come to the field every day and get my work in and go about it like a professional because it's like you're showing up to this cathedral. Like we're having at the time it was 2016 and we're out selling the Twins when both of us are at home.
Yeah,
It's like and again they weren't that great in 2006. Like the Twins
sure.
weren't anything to write home about in 2016, but it's like we're getting 12,000 fans a night. Like we're
Yeah,
packing this place out. We got 17,000 on July 4th. Like this is so crazy, you
yeah,
know? So like, that'll always be like this really cool experience in my head.
sure.
But I've had a lot of good opportunities playing for like some really classy organizations that have treated their players very well, you know?
Mm,
Bobby Brown, I've played for him. Like he was my manager my second year in Lincoln. It's funny how things work out, and then I end up like circling back and playing for him again for multiple years
yeah.
with Ottawa. He treated me very well. The whole Ottawa organization, top to bottom, treated me with nothing but class.
Mm,
Joliet, the front office was great, outstanding, treated me very well. Obviously, I played with Mike with
Yeah.
Pinto there as well as Southern Illinois.
Yep.
Stand-up guy, treats his players well. The organization in Southern Illinois couldn't ask for a better one. I probably would have played there till I stopped playing if they never folded.
Yeah.
Again, they treated me very well. Windy City, I grew so much as a player there.
Mm.
Ron Biga, can't say enough for that guy. I've like attached myself to this coach. If you look at like rosters of my last, I don't know, 7 seasons, like you'll find Ron Biga as like an assistant coach on every single one of these teams. The relationships that you make throughout this is so crazy.
Yeah.
In terms of favorite, St. Paul is kind of hard to beat.
Mm.
And again, like I don't want to. I was just in Florence for 2 months. 2 months of
Yeah.
the season, and the impression that they made on me over there is crazy. Like I can't see a spot that I want to play other than Florence for this upcoming season. And that's I was telling them, I was telling anyone who listened over there when I was over there that, look, I've played a lot of places and this is a good setup,
Yeah.
they treat us very well. Like dumb stuff that most people don't think about, like pregame spread.
Sure.
Like everyone's required to give you postgame spread. A lot of places really need to step up their postgame
Yep.
spreads, but that's like a whole nother discussion. But like pregame spread, catered pregame spread every single day.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting that. You're not getting that in places,
Totally.
So there are organizations that go the extra mile to take care of their guys and make sure they're. And again, it comes back around. You're trying to set these guys up and put them in positions to succeed because you want your organization to succeed.
Yeah.
So it's like. Favorite's tough. A lot of these places I played for multiple years too. So
Sure. Yeah.
I got very close to some of the guys
Totally.
who were like regulars. So I'll take the easy, long-winded answer to say St. Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. What about any teammates or maybe guys you pitched against? I'm sure you faced some big names at some point in your career, but any guys stand out that you played with or against?
In terms of just who I thought was like extremely good, or maybe like higher profile guys, or
Maybe,
like
yeah,
who I'm more of like friends with now.
maybe a bit of all of those.
I've been playing for so long that it's like
Sure.
the amount of guys that I've like become very, very, very close with is like probably more than you'd realize. There's guys I could throw out like old school names, like my catcher in Windy City, Larry Balkwell. He called me for 3 years there, and then a whole nother season in Ottawa in 2019.
Nice.
I talk to this guy every week.
Yeah.
Some of the guys that I played with, I've played with multiple times. And I just finished out with Anthony Mercado
Yeah.
with Florence, and I played with him in Southern Illinois. We were roommates for the entire season in
Nice.
Southern Illinois. So like that's like one of my very, very, very good friends. Jamie Smart, I've played with a bunch of times now. We have, I mean, that's one of my best friends. Some of these guys
Yeah.
are going to be at my wedding whenever that day may come.
Sure.
And it's like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys, and I'm when this comes out, I might get hit up right now because I didn't mention freaking 10 other guys,
Right.
But on the spot, it's kind of hard.
Totally.
As far as like high profile, the Brandon Phillips being on a team with him is just like that. The like young baseball fan in me like
Totally.
geeks out,
Yeah.
and just like being not just like getting to meet him, like being actual teammates with him.
Sure.
He's way more of a down to earth guy than most of these guys probably are once you get to meet them.
Yeah.
But some of the guys we play against, like when I do make my stints in the Atlantic League, like it's crazy because there's so many guys who's like that guy was in the big leagues for 5 years, and like
Yep.
you might not even like he's not a household name. You know
Sure.
what I'm saying? Like you're
Totally.
just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like that's so crazy to me. Like I have no affiliate time. I'm one of the few guys who have been doing this, especially for as long as I've been doing it. Like
Right.
no, like I have zero. That's not, like it's crazy to me that I get to like finish out the year playing against some of these guys.
Yeah.
and have my way with some of them, like,
Sure.
and don't get me
Totally.
wrong, the competitor in me be like, I don't give a heck,
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
I could care less what your resume is. This
Yeah.
is going to be fun. This is who I want to
Exactly.
face.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about 2026. I think you mentioned earlier, you're just kind of doing your off-season thing, getting ready for 26. Is the plan, I'm assuming, to play again?
Yeah. The plan is to play again. So last year I like soft retired.
Sure.
And no one was making me do that. Other than just myself being like, nah, I'm
Yeah.
done,
Yep.
which is so stupid. Um, because all that did was like I just like I mean I had a normal off season. I was like
Hmm.
just working. I was in the gym and stuff like that, but I wasn't like training baseball specific,
Yeah.
so to say. I didn't pick up a baseball for a very long time. I was like done, and then February rolled around and guys were reporting to like big league spring training, like
Hmm.
pitchers and catchers reported, and then I'm seeing like content of guys throwing bullpens and stuff like that. And I was like, what am I freaking doing? So I like reached out to Gastonia and to Joliet like early February, maybe mid February.
Sure.
Might have fibbed a little bit on how much I had been throwing. Um, but was just like, oh, I definitely want to play another year.
Yeah.
Which again, like bit myself in the butt, like because then I like kind of get out there and my arm's not where it needs to be. I had to
Hmm.
like jump right into bullpens. And again, I'm just like, I got it,
Yeah. Yep.
like overconfident for no reason. Um, and I go out and it was like, I mean, I was pitching okay.
Sure.
Um, but it's like frustrating knowing like when you can be performing better,
Yeah.
when like you can and you're just like not at that point.
Mm.
Um, all while you're an older guy who's being looked at, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
even if it's like real or just in my own head, like you start to like question like are guys like you know what I'm saying? Do guys like still like listen? Like why would
Yeah.
he listen to me if I just gave up a 7 spot? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. Right.
stupid stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
probably more just like in your head.
Sure.
So realistically, I've I knew I wasn't going to be like I'm done, even if I don't play another season of baseball. Like there's no reason for me to go into the off season and not like
Yeah.
I'm still I'm still like having my like part-time full-time like off-season job, but then I'm still just going to be like throwing and all that stuff
Hmm.
around that, which is almost like exciting personally because it's like I had like a rough first half in terms of like result,
Sure.
um, but like my second half I was pitching some of like the best pitching I've had in like recent years, so it's like exciting to like, oh dang, if I like actually tackle this off season like I
Yeah.
normally would have, it like where I could be at like full season for next year. So the plan is definitely to play, um, without getting too much into like the crazy behind the scenes stuff in terms of like that. I'm kind of just waiting to see how things shake out.
Sure.
With front offices and stuff like that,
Yep.
and like change of guard and stuff like that. With
Yeah.
because you never know what's going to happen, and the last thing you want to do
Totally.
is sign to a team, and then next thing you know, they're making a major change, and you're that would have changed how you went about it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm one of the. It's not like every person gets to go into the off season and have the luxury of like selling themselves like that.
Yeah.
That's something that I've like gotten later in my career.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, that being said, I can't speak highly as like I can't speak any more highly on Florence than I already do.
Mm.
It was awesome, man. The guys there, the manager, the every single coach, they're the like you were saying, like you were touching on earlier about your first year with Windy City, you weren't like you weren't really like interacting with the players and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I feel like that's not just like a youth thing. I feel like that's probably most people who work in sports, but not that closely like on the field playing, like
sure.
the actual on the field product. A lot of the people that work like behind the scenes and stuff like that, I feel like probably have that same mindset where it's like they shouldn't be talking or like to the players, or the players don't want to talk to, you know what I'm saying? And
Right,
it's like
right.
I've played for organizations where like they tell the players not to talk to people because they
Sure.
just don't want that hassle and stuff like that. But it's like I'm gonna be like, if I was playing for the Dogs next year, like Joe, I'm gonna see you
Right,
every freaking day, man.
right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna get to know you. I'm gonna,
Sure.
you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's being a person. It's like building these relationships. It's I'm gonna get to know the front office whether they are hands on or not. You know, like
Right,
I'm
right.
gonna. There's a reason why when we pop back into Windy City, when I go to play these teams that I've played for in the past, like I make it a point to go to the front office and see some of these people. You know, like again because again it's you never know where you're going to end up. You never know which one of these where they're going to end up. They might be in a whole nother
Yeah,
opportunity down the road, you know. So it's like, and that's outside of baseball. That's like all life is just like nurturing these relationships that we make along the way.
totally.
I wish more of like the support staff would go into it knowing that like we most of the guys are good genuine human beings who
Yeah,
like will ask you about your day and talk to you about your family and ask you about
right.
your kids, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
um
totally.
and like it's cool to have those interactions even with someone like the fans, you know.
Yep.
There's definitely regular fans who you like get to
Yeah,
know
yeah,
as people outside of the field, and you're asking about stuff like that, and they're asking you about stuff that has nothing to do with baseball. And it's
right.
like that's kind of what we're doing here, you know.
Yeah,
So in as far as 2026, I definitely want to play. Um, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I get not cold feet, but I get anxious. So I'm already like it's been a month. I'm gonna start
yeah.
throwing here. I'm gonna start throwing here in probably a week.
I
Um,
love it.
and I've been texting some of the coaching staff in Florence, trying to get on the same page with some stuff.
Nice.
So hopefully sooner rather than later. There's nothing I hate more than getting to like the holidays and not
Yep.
being signed. It's like
Yeah,
I want to check that box, know where I'm going, so I can stop thinking about that, and I can just dive into like
totally.
my own training and get gearing up for it. Then it's
Yeah.
like the fun part, you know.
Yep.
So we'll see with that. We'll see with that.
I love it.
You'll hopefully you'll know here sooner than later.
I love
I'll
it.
let you know. I'll
I'll
let
be
you
looking
know
for it for sure.
for sure.
Um, any like personal or career milestones or things you're looking forward to in 26, assuming you are back on the field full time,
Um,
or goals, maybe?
a lot of personal milestones have already been checked.
Sure.
In terms of like actual result based
Mm,
things. I'd like to. You know, I've won an Indy Ball championship with Lexington in 2021, which was
sure.
like so freaking cool.
Yeah.
But it would be different to do it with a team that I was with full year.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I started that year off. I was with Southern Illinois the whole season, and then kind
Yeah.
of like transitioned over for the last month, like I do sometimes. And so like that's a box that I'd like to check. You know,
Mm,
it'd be nice to start. You know, and when one year with Ottawa, we ended up going to playoffs and getting in, but had to go through Quebec, and they were Quebec at the time. You know, so it's
yep.
it gets a
They're
little.
still doing that.
There's yes, that's what I hear. but yeah, it's as far as like goals, I'd like to take on more of a player coach role. It's
Mm,
something that I've talked about with a lot of teams that I've played with prior, and I'm currently in talks with Florence especially.
sure.
And I think that would be something that would be good for me, but also like when I'm a free agent, like that's how I market myself to these teams. Like they know
Yeah.
all these people know I could pitch, so it's
Right.
like what I'm trying to get across is, and what a lot of these teams are trying to bring me in is they want me to be that 34-year-old in down there with a bunch of guys who are fresh out of college who
Yeah.
need help with, and not help with anything in terms of like on the field stuff, but it's
Right.
like up
Right.
here, or just like adapting to the day to day and this new lifestyle, or the
Yeah.
road, like some of
Yeah.
these road trips, it's just like, or just dealing with some certain pressures and stuff like that, and slowing the game
Totally.
down. So like I market myself for that anyway. So it's like, let me move into transition into one of those roles. Also, I'm getting older, so I'm always thinking about transitioning off the field,
Mm.
and when that comes and what it looks like. So it wouldn't hurt to start throwing that on a little resume.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like I could do a really good job with it.
Sure.
I like to think that I do bring that into a
Yeah.
team. I like to think that a lot of the best parts about me that I do bring to a club is more off the field stuff and in the
Mm.
clubhouse stuff, and like going and how I go about my business, and being in it so long, I've seen guys go about their business and stuff like that,
Yeah.
to where like I can be a good part of a clubhouse, and
Totally.
make sure things take some of the stresses off of the manager or management, on like making sure these things move
Yeah.
smoothly and operate well, and guys are on board and moving towards the same goal.
Yeah.
So that's kind of in the works a little bit. We'll see how that goes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the beauties of Indy Ball too, right? You see a lot more of the player manager or player coach type roles, and even
Yeah.
it was Florence, right? Craig Massey was doing that
Yep.
for a couple of years
Yep.
over there.
Even this
So
past year,
yeah, yeah,
even when I was in Southern Illinois, Craig Massey
that's right.
was a player coach in 2000, and what was that, 21. So
Yeah.
again, like guys have been doing it. Um, I've had other yeah, I've had other teams. When I was in Ottawa, Bobby Brown kind of wanted me
Mm,
to do that role. When I was in there's been when I was coming to Joliet for the first time, Mike Pinto had talked to me about that role a little bit. Um, there's been times where it's been addressed, and
sure.
whether it's for not wanting to take on more responsibility for like no added compensation, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever
Right.
it is, I've just like turned it down, and now I'm kind of at the point where it's like I might as well, because I'm already doing it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
guy I am. And like again, I want to win. Like that's why I'm out
Totally.
here playing. And so if I can help any of these guys along the way, even I don't know. We don't need to get too much into the weeds, but I'm almost trying to act as like an agent for some of these guys. Like
Sure. Yeah.
again, there's a lot of indie ball that I think is should be changed, in the
Right.
sense in that regard.
Yeah.
Like there's nowhere I could just like look up certain rules and regulations that like
Sure.
what a coach's has to pay me, or has to
Mm,
pay me for spring training. Like I
yeah.
can't look any of this up as a
Yeah.
player who is like has to like be mandated by all this stuff. It's like some of these guys just come in, and none of us have like very few of us have agents. Only the guys coming from affiliates still have agents. So it's like
Yep.
it's a weird space to try and navigate, especially if you just are like brand new to it. So I
Mm,
try to I mean, if we're releasing guys, I'm
yeah.
giving I'm making sure these guys have my numbers, and offering any assistance I can. If guys aren't getting released, I'm like, hit me up in the offseason when you start talking money with teams, because again, I know these are uncomfortable conversations.
I love it.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, again, some organizations might not like that, might not be like the veteran leadership that they want to,
Right.
because I'm like ask for more money,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but that's like, that's why I'm still doing this stuff.
I love it.
It's all part of it. And
Yeah.
these guys are
Totally.
in positions that I was in then, and like I'm in a very different position now at a lot of different times. But again, you could come to me, and you can't come to me with a position that I haven't been in at this
Yeah.
point. And it's like, even to the point of like this year I got released.
Right. Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this isn't
Yeah.
like these aren't issues that I dealt with 10 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I know how to navigate these things like while you're in them real time. I've been doing them. This
Yep.
game's so crazy that you find yourself in a whole bunch of different situations. Like,
Yeah.
I try to be as big of a resource as I can.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love. There's always something about just knowing, on a team where you've got young guys and veterans. There's just kind of a feel if you know the veterans are going out of their way to help the younger guys and make sure, all right, we're gonna do this as a team. We're gonna do this the best way we can, individually, and we're gonna win some games, but also be, in a good mental space and be doing the best we can off the field. Like there's something special about watching a team
A
go
hundred
about their
percent,
business the right way.
a hundred
Yeah.
percent. And again, like Florence was big on that. They had a ton of very good experienced guys like
Mm.
Craig Massey, Anthony
Yeah.
Mercado. Like
Yep.
these guys have been around. They've played at other places, not just the Frontier League.
Right.
They've had success at other places, and not just the Frontier League. Like, these are guys who go about their business very well.
Yeah.
They know what they need to do personally to perform later that day, and they're
Right.
gonna, one way or another, they're gonna get that in. They're not gonna go
Yeah.
to the game unprepared. I can guarantee you that much.
Yeah.
So even just like seeing those guys go about their business is huge for some of these guys who
Totally.
like might not even have a throwing routine. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason they were at this college, that college. They haven't had to think
Yep.
for themselves. They haven't had to like. They've been told what have to do on a day to day basis. That now it's like they're given some free reign, and it's like you got to learn what you need to get going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just a learning curve, and it helps.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, that's all I got for you today. So thank you so much for joining. This has been awesome. Love catching up with you. First, like I said before, first player interview. So
Love that.
hopefully we'll get some more of those, but you can check that box off as well.
Yeah, yeah, appreciate it, Joe. Thank you for having me. Honestly, can't say I love what you're doing for Indy Ball, for the Frontier League, for all these leagues. It's crazy. And again, like we started this whole conversation off with, the talent is there. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good baseball.
Hmm.
So it's like it's I enjoy seeing 11 years down the road that there are outlets that are like covering the league and stuff like
Yeah.
that, because there is, I mean, you could call it drama, but like there's storylines
Sure.
throughout the league where like things are exciting and there's good baseball. And
Yep.
you're looking at like Quebec. Like, you're gonna tell me Quebec isn't like a good team? Like, what are they
Right.
doing over there? Something,
Exactly.
something's in the water. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like we
Yep.
gotta like, it's just crazy. It's been fun to be a part of, though. But I appreciate myself, and like all these other players, whether they tell you or not. Like, we appreciate
Sure.
this stuff, man.
Thank
Love
you. I
what you're
love it.
doing, getting word out and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's part of the way I look at it too is, you guys are putting a good product out of the field, right? And doing your thing, and major leagues have so much coverage. Even affiliated ball, they get a bunch of coverage too, but nobody talks about indie ball, right? But it's still good
Yeah,
baseball. So it
yeah,
deserves to be talked about. And
100%.
that's the kind of stuff I'm passionate about too. Been around it
100%.
now,
And
so
you even throw a lot of behind the scenes stuff in there too. That's like whether I already know, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like good content that
yeah.
like no one's talking. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the stuff is I like it. I like it, man. You're
Thanks,
doing
man. I
good stuff.
appreciate it. Good to
Yeah.
hear that somebody on the inside is loving it. So
Yeah. Hopefully, when I get out to Chicago this year, we can link up or something.
yeah,
Say what up,
totally.
meet you in person. Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah. Hey, come by for a dogs game or something too. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
All
Yeah. For sure. For
right,
sure.
man. Thanks for talking, and we'll catch up. Good luck getting ready for 26.
Thank you, Joe. You have a good one.